your hats, strap down the rods. You've tuned in to The Fin, the Fishing Insider Network, your new online source for fishing.
Look at this one, buddy. Zydeco. Bam! Yeah! Woo! Viva Mexico, baby! This is what I'm talking about. Look at this pig.
Welcome to the Fishing Insider Network. On this episode, we're headed down south to Lake Comendaro into Old Mexico. Now, of course, you got Baccarat, Wheaties, Salto, and Comendaro, but this was Brian's first opportunity to head down south and fish Old Mexico.
That's right, Dave, and it wasn't until we were flying over the Sierra Madres it finally dawned on me. Brian, you're heading to Lake Comendaro, world-famous bass fishing. We arrived at the airport. We had a 3-hour road trip. But let me tell you, it was made short. Why? The scenery. The Sierra Madre Mountains were beautiful. The old Mexican towns we went through. We had to slow down for cows in the road. But this really gave me a taste for Old Mexico, being my first time there. We finally came around one pass, and that was the dam. Lake Comendaro. Just 5 minutes away was the lodge. It was absolutely beautiful. It was real accommodating. The food was excellent. The owners, Debbie and James Luker from Arkansas, were absolutely fabulous.
Fishing on Lake Comendaro is like fishing a lot of the Mexican lakes, except for maybe El Salto. El Salto is a lowland reservoir, a little bit more jungle terrain. But all in all, the fishing is outstanding at all those Mexican lakes. If you've ever fished the West Coast, it looks a lot similar. Things that you're going to contend with: clear water, lots of brush and stick-ups, rocks, big boulders, and strong. These fish are like on steroids, but the killer is you always have a chance of catching a big one. I'm talking about a grande, 10 pounds or better.
When we were down there, we dropped an AquaView Quad 360 to see what was down there. Man, we saw bass, lots of them, big ones. We saw sticks, we saw rocks, we saw mud. Didn't see no grass. Kind of unusual to have a trophy bass lake with no grass, right? The other things we saw down there was saddles. What are saddles? Saddles is a low spot between two high points. Man, excellent structure for bass. You have deep water, shallow water, drop-offs. Made it excellent spot for catching lots of fish and big fish.
Overall, I think all colors work down there, don't you, Brian?
Yeah, Dave, they did. Although we had a few colors I think that might have worked a little bit better than others. For example, in the 10, 12-inch worms, that blue fleck and that red shad was really good. In the wave worms, that watermelon red and that smoke purple was unbelievable. The lizard, remember the watermelon red and that one color you were using, that copper candy? It was deadly.
Well, that's what I caught that 9-pounder on.
Exactly. Jigs, the black and blue was by far the most dominant color on the jig side of it. Swim baits and the soft jerk baits, the shad colors were done real well.
What about crankbaits? I didn't throw a lot of the crankbait. Obviously, I didn't get to fish that much. You got to do most of the fishing. But chartreuse and what was the parrot color?
The parrot color and some kind of dark or some kind of goldish kind of resembling this tilapia down there, because that's what a lot of fish feed on, is that tilapia. Same thing with the spinnerbaits. The white, the kind of golden shadow, kind of dark colored 1-ounce spinnerbaits, kind of imitating that tilapia worked real well.
Something else was really kind of cool is we would be out there fishing. I'd be filming Brian, and you could see early in the morning, you could see the tilapia move the sticks because they're up there and feeding around, but then you'd see those sticks kind of move out of the way and part like that. That was big old Buster Bass coming in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were after them tilapia.
You've been fishing Fork a long time, Brian. How would you compare the quality of the fishery down at Comendaro to Lake Fork?
Pretty close. Probably Comendaro has the edge because it has so many. But, you know, I was averaging 70 to 80 fish a day. Mind you, doing all the camera work, you know, doing the talking and everything, takes a lot of time. But the one day I did get to fish by myself, I caught over 130 fish. Can't do that on Fork. I was able to pattern those bigger fish hanging around those outside bushes and on the inside of those saddles. Those saddles was a big key.
Wheaties is our next stop.
Wheaties, Mexico again?
Yep.
I can't wait. Until Lake Wheaties, I'm Brian Dupachain.
And I'm Dave Masterson for the Fishing Insider Network.